Chapter 196. Hanoch under Chapelle. Love versus politics. Public schools already existed in Hanoch under Olad, which his son Dronel perfected and Kinkar extended and expanded to other cities. But in addition, Chapelle built several hundred high schools in which all sorts of arts were taught publicly. For example, dance, music, sculpture, painting, swimming, flying by aerostatic means, riding horses, donkeys, camels, elephants, fencing, archery, and then also shooting, using rifles invented by Kinkar. For all these mentioned and still a lot of unnamed arts and subjects, Chapelle had schools built and teachers employed in all places of his great empire. This resulted soon in the emergence of all kinds of people, entertainers, who performed before the people in the various theatres for money, of which they had to pay 1/3 to the state treasury. And this because the king had these useful institutions in which such arts were taught, built by the people, and thereby provided for the youth the opportunity to learn such useful things, for which learning courses, however, the scholars had to pay their teachers. Thereby Chapelle gained large sums, and in political terms benefited, for the people forgot about the pressure because of the perpetually new spectacles, and on top of it, praised the king more than all the gold. In order to make the people as stupid as possible and insensitive to any pressure, no means is more effective than 1,000 shows and ceremonies. Thereby, the most external desire for gawking is awakened, by which man sinks back into the pure animal state, and then stands in the world like a stupid cow in front of a new gate. These were therefore the abundant fruits of the excellent politics of Chapelle. There existed indeed in the city of Hanoch, as well as in the other cities and towns, some sober thinkers who had not yet forgotten my word. But firstly, they were not allowed to speak, because the Chapelle had properly provided the empire with spies. And for the second, however, in the end, they themselves found a taste for all kinds of truly sophisticated artistic productions, and could not exclaim often enough how this and that was a credit to the human mind. Of all the arts, dance, music, and especially the so-called aesthetic shows, influenced the people the most. The aesthetic performances consisted of the most beautiful girls and also the most beautiful young men, appearing in all kinds of charming costumes, in the most alluring positions, on a magnificent stage, accompanied, of course, by music. after each performance, the young artists were available to the lustful, of course for a substantial fee, namely the young men for the lustful women and the girls for the lustful men. This art institution brought the king enormous sums and contributed to the dumbing of the people the most. The main reason why Jappel was so greatly favoured by the people was that he cared for the poor by means of hospitals, in which they were accommodated, and thus one never saw any beggars anywhere, but only prosperity. That the poor were not properly looked after in the hospitals, and that they had to work there to earn their rather meagre rations, can be seen from the fact that all the arrangements were just fruits of Jappel's politics, because love and politics are the most opposite poles. Where love belongs to the uppermost heaven, while politics is a piece of the lowest hell, if it is based on greed and lust for power. The following, however, will show the further actions of Jappel.